Hi. This video, if you have your, 10,000 rust hours, probably not for you. If you got your 1,000 rust hours, might not be for you. This is more for, individual. He's got a weekend, got a month in, is just sort of figuring things out. Maybe needs to know some of the basics, some of the day one basics. So what I've done here on this server is create a tutorial island. And I've just, the actual reason I did this, because I convinced some friends who had never played to, well, play. And wanted to run them through some of the basics. So I made all these little modules, let's call them, of, just some things we can see. I will say, on the note of tutorials and how-tos and things of that nature when it comes to Rust, the way this one will differ is I don't have a script, and I'm just sort of going off the top of my dome. Huh? Off the top of my dome? Okay, well, see, that wasn't planned. Okay, I feel like this is probably one of the most obvious things for when you see a base. If you're like, oh, that guy must be new. When they have hard side, versus soft side. So each wall type, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, has a hard side and a soft side. A soft side can be picked away eventually. A hard side cannot. Well, I guess it can in the case of twig, because twig just sort of breaks easy regardless of hard or soft. It takes a little longer on the hard, but still. And for the hard side, you'll need things like explosives and stuff of that nature, and your base is much better off if you have the hard side facing out and the soft side facing in. Hey, it's just that easy. We're going real simple here. Hatches. You got a square one. You got a triangle one. We're going to come to it a little later, and then honestly I have no idea what order I'm doing these in. But researching one of these will unlock both. Whereas if you were to unlock them on a research table, which again we'll get into that when I do that one next, we'll just unlock the one. So that's a little tip that I didn't learn until somewhat recently, actually. Okay, so we've got wood door, metal door, high qual door, in singles. Then we've got wood, metal, garage, high qual. So in terms of, and again, we'll get into this later. I've got a little chart over there. 1 rocket, 2 rocket, 4 rocket. Oh shoot, 6 rockets? I don't know if I remember that one off the top of my head. So, protecting your base. Just because I've already mentioned it, and we'll sort of let flow what may here. Research. So you'll have research benches. Currently I have everything researched. So when you first start on a new server, none of this will be green as it is here. It will not be unlocked. It will instead be locked, and you'll have to sort of research it using scrap. Scrap, which I happen to have a lot of. This is, why don't I just show you the server? So this is not a vanilla server, obviously, and one of my plans when showing my friends this is to explain the differences between this server and the other. The reason I did it on this server, a lot easier to make this, obviously. So if you have a tier 3 workbench, it gives you access to 2 and 1. If you have a tier 2, it gives access to 2 and 1. If you have a tier 1, it's just 1. This is a somewhat recent addition for electrics and car stuff. I don't like that they split it, but they did, so nothing you can do about that. Lastly, as I mentioned, research bench. So here you would put this in, but you would obviously do it one at a time, put in your scrap, and it would research it for you. And there's a few things. Planters, where there's square and triangle. Those hatches, as I mentioned, where there's square and triangle. If you research one, it actually unlocks both. So, you know. Also, when researching on levels 2 and levels 3, there's tax, 20%. So if you have the item, always makes more sense to use a research bench. But, you know, not always an option. You're going to find every item. So all of this takes scrap, which is sort of the in-game currency. These are just 3. I don't even know if they're the top 3, but probably the top 3 ways to get scrap. I guess raiding you could add as well. So run the road, meaning go on the road and run around it, getting boxes and barrels along the way. Doing monuments. Monument. We'll get into that a little more. And then sell stuff. In vending machines or certain safe zones like bandit camp. You could sell things. Say I got 80 cloth. I could sell that for, it's not a very good price, for 10 scrap. I guess if you got a farm, that's okay. So I wanted to show them a vending machine. Currently out of stock. Oh, did I have some for sale? I guess maybe I did. And it was basically the ways that you can broadcast it, administrate it, call it things. I'm currently not broadcasting. This was just an example. You can, you know, add whatever. Say I want to sell a firebomb for a wolf headdress, 1-to-1, for example. Okay, so let's move on to, how about we do, since we've already touched on it. Actually, no, this is a good little break here. Tool grades. So from stone to metal to salvaged. I also included the bone knives. Oh, you know what I didn't include is jackhammer and chainsaw. So jackhammer and chainsaw I would probably put here because they give the same amount, they just do it quicker. On that note, were you to look at a tool, you'll see that this very good at gathering ore. For example, this best in the flesh gathering. Shield compatible. Oh, that's new. I haven't actually noticed that before. Okay, so that's just your tool grades, and I was gonna sort of explain. You get more if you use a better tool. All right, so since it came up, what is a high qual door actually? High qual door, 5 rockets. Okay, I said 6. Oh, and that's 3. I think I said 4. Well, whatever. I don't have this memorized. That's why there's a chart. Raid costs. Feel free to screenshot or just find this online because it's very helpful. Events. Okay, so there are several events that can happen on any given moment on any given server. There is an airdrop. So basically you'll see a plane fly by, see the contrails, and eventually somewhere on the map it will drop an airdrop. You can go to it and get some goodies. On a PvP server, it will quite often be contested. You also have the ability to call in your own airdrop. You'll get like a little grenade that you can throw that will call in your own. Bradley, just a tank. Yeah, you can blow up the tank and get goodies. I'm not going to go into too much detail in general of events, and especially on the other side here, monuments, because A, this is for newbies, and B, especially for monuments, you sort of need individual tutorials to really get into the nitty-gritty. So, you know, blow this up, get good stuff. Go on this, get good stuff. It travels around the map. You can actually see. Oh, I thought you could see on the map. Maybe only when it's out you can see it. So normally there's like a dotted line going around the map, and that is the path that this will take. So It's usually yeah, 3 crates on it. Crates are locked. You will interact with them, and then after 15 minutes, they will open. Meaning that, again, quite often very contested, those, because they're going to have a lot of good stuff and take some time. Not dissimilar, has a lot of good stuff, takes some time. That doesn't have as good stuff as these crates. On the note of crates, this helicopter will drop crates in certain areas. On this map, it's been in water treatment. I'm pretty sure it's sort of at the beginning of wipe, it picks one of the monuments, and then throughout the course of that wipe, that's where it will always drop the crates. At least that seemed, I've seen that mentioned once. I don't know if that's the case or still the case. Yeah. If you're, near it, it will shoot at you, but it's got horrible aim and probably not going to kill you. Whereas, probably more deaths than anything else I have experienced personally have been at the... because of this friggin' thing. Attack heli will fly around the map, go monument to monument. You can blow it up and get goodies, not similar to Bradley. Oh, did I just hear it? It'd be funny if I did. Now, there are things you can do to prevent it from attacking you. So if I have no weapon in my inventory, you can have like a knife. And you've got to have no armor and 3 or less items of clothing. And then it won't attack you sort of on site. However, I think is someone taking heli right now? I think maybe someone is. Am I hearing things? Anyways, yeah, it's deadly, hard to blow up. They're always messing with it, face punch that is, in terms of like how one goes about blowing it up and certain mechanics around that. And it's a big pain. And again, I'm only saying that because it's killed me more than anything. Okay, so here's my monument wall. We're just gonna briefly go over everything here. Some of these, for example, oil rig, you're definitely gonna need to watch a YouTube video specifically about this. Like, you can see how, complicated it is just by these maps that I found. So you're gonna go here. Going to be a lot of loot. Going to be scientists, which are the game's NPCs that are going to try to murder you. Probably if you're on a PvP server, it's going to be other people trying to murder you. That goes sort of true for all of these, except for the ones that are safe zones, which we'll get into. And some of them have key card puzzles, meaning you need... I know I have some. Yep. You need these cards to open doors that have the best loot behind them. Green, the lowest tier door, mid tier, high tier door. So if you have a monument like this, it's got a green card room, blue card room, and a red card room. So that's sort of the top tier, highest echelon would be this one. But also hardest to run, hardest to get to, because it's, where is it here? Like, it's not even on the grid, for example. Oh, I don't know if I have underwater lab on this. Okay, if I don't, there's a lab that's underwater. This is more one that people go to for the recycler. Which, did we talk about recycling? No, I have that elsewhere. Okay, so later in the video, we'll talk recycling. Got some stuff, you get a key card. I feel like that box is not normally there. Oh, that's something I should say of these maps, diagrams. So where it's showing boxes is where there could be boxes. Either A, they're taken by other people, or not every box is going to spawn in every location every time. So, just keep that in mind. Lighthouse. One nice thing of recycling here is if we find one on the map, quite often they're sort of like alone by themselves, so you can see people coming while you're recycling, because recycling quite often dangerous. This is military tunnels. A lot of people say it's crap in terms of loot. And yeah, I guess it's not great. And there's scientists and there's radiation. So, you know, you gotta keep those things in mind. On the note of radiation, you'll have a number here, 26%. That's how much radiation I'm being protected from. Take that off down to 21. And that's just because I have one of these in it. Okay. Mining outposts. Another similar to lighthouse, sort of a place where there's a recycler and where it's more about that than about the gathering of loot for the most part, what people use it for. Yeah, it's like a big shed. All right, this is our first safe zone outpost. This was the first safe zone. So if you go here on most servers, and again, I'm sort of leaning towards talking about vanilla PvP servers when I'm explaining a lot of this stuff. Your gun will be unholstered automatically, and you can't take it out, and you can't harm others. And if, say, I fire my gun and then go near it, it's gonna have a bunch of turrets that's going to murder me. A lot of shops where you can buy and sell things, and just sort of could be a social hub of places. Yeah. So there's a couple of safe zones like that. Can't be murdered while in them. That's something. Here we have a gas station. Recycling. Like your this is what they consider a tier 1 monument, along with mining outposts, along with lighthouse. Tier 1 monuments, mostly there for the recycling. Loot is fine, but you know, it's not the focus usually. All right, here we have power plant. This has it doesn't have a red card puzzle, right? No, you can get a red card here. So the way it often works is like a tier 1 monument, you can get a green card. And a tier 2, you can get a green, or you can get a red card. Yeah. Wait, am I saying that right? Tier 2, 3. You know what? I don't have the tiers memorized, I will freely admit. Yeah, a lot of goodies in there though. Beware of this one, because you need, I don't even know if it's possible to get enough rads to survive in there, even with like a rad suit. Okay, here we've got some quarries. So there's up to 3 on a map. The thing about map generation is not every map is going to have every monument 100% of the time. So this has a sulfur quarry. There's sulfur HQM, or high quality metal, and then there's stone. Stone no one ever uses, basically. Stone is sort of a weird one that it exists, but you know, you have to put in diesel, which is a commodity that is pretty rare, can only be found in some monuments. This is a new / old one. Back when I first started playing, well, I played in the alpha way back in the day. They had this, which is called Rad Town. Just, you know, series of buildings, got a recycler, got a bunch of loot. It's fine. Yeah, nothing too special there. It's fine. Satellite dish, yeah. You can get, okay, so I guess this would be a tier 2 then. Or would it? The tiers don't really matter, because you can get a blue card. Yeah, is it tier 1, you can get a green card, tier 2, you can get a blue card, and tier 3, you can get a red card? Is that how the tiers work out? I don't really know. Recycler, bunch of goodies. Yeah, that's a good one. No scientists. I kind of like ones like this. Like, you just go in, you're sort of chill. This one, for example, this is sewer branch. Yeah, there's no scientists. There's a little puzzle. You can, you know, get your recycling done underground. A bunch of boxes. This one has a jumping puzzle though, which of the areas of rust that exist, parkour being one of them. That is my worst. So, you know, you probably won't see me doing too much parkour. Jumping puzzles, they call them. This one is this Train Yard? Yeah, this is Train Yard. It's another decent one. It's got a couple of scientists, but not too many. Yeah, don't mind that one. What is this one? Is this water treatment? Yeah, I think this is water treatment plus 2 crates in the sewers. Get some good diesel at this one. Doesn't have a recycler. No, it does have a recycler. It has a recycler over there, if I do recall. Oh, this one also has a pump jack, which is nice. That you put it at diesel and it'll give you a whole bunch of low grade, which is needed for things like vehicles and making certain things. Is this a harbor or a ferry terminal? Let's get those mixed up. I think this is harbor. There's a couple of variants of monuments, this being one of them. This is another safe zone. Actually, here's 2 safe zones: fishing village and there's a couple different names: large barn and ranch. Again, variants. There's fishing village. There's large fishing village. I'm not including, you know, both of them. Safe zones. Here we have junkyard. Junkyard got a sort of a unique one in that this vehicle can pick up cars and you can put them in. I think I've done it like once. You know, it's fun to try, but yeah, it does have a car lift, which could come in handy. Recycler, yeah, that's not a bad one. All right, so here's an interesting one. This is giant excavator, which is, just as it says, a giant excavator. You can put diesel in and have it run various different ways. You can have it run sulfur, you can have it run stone, metal, high qual, and it will shoot out a whole bunch of that resource into 2 different areas, 2 drop-offs, as they call them here. On a vanilla PvP server, very hard to run uncontested. If you are a solo in particular, because you got to monitor 2 spots all while running it from inside, and then it also drops airdrops periodically, which is going to call attention. So, you know, be warned, I guess. Dome, yeah, this is sort of a jump puzzle a little bit to get up. Used to be a lot harder than it is now. And also, we usually just fly up to the top. Actually have practice a little bit and can do it pretty consistently, fly through it now, which is fun. This is the last safe zone, Bandit Camp. This is where you can buy things like minis, which is a helicopter. It sells a bunch of stuff. Good for if you got lots of extra resources. You could sell for scrap. Also has a little casino. So does the outpost usually. Recycler. If you use recyclers in these safe zones, you won't get as much resources back as you would if you use it in a non-safe zone recycler. That's something they added somewhat recently to prevent people from just going here and, you know, spending all day recycling while being safe, sort of thing. What is this one? Oh, this is Arctic Research Base. Yeah, you know what? I barely ever run this one. And it has a snowmobile. Yeah, with a blue card, you can get access to a snowmobile, which is fun for driving around the snow. That's something. Got a lot of scientists in this one, though. So, you know, keep that in mind. Airfield is one of my favorites, maybe my favorites to sort of live by. There's scientists, but there's only like 3 or 4 of them, and they're underground in a puzzle. Quite often, this will be a spot where a crate will be dropped. Oh, I guess it'd be like right here. Yeah, decent loot. You get some diesel. Yeah, it's one I enjoy because it's not, you know, crazy. Like, say, an Arctic Research Base where you got to kill, you know, a dozen scientists to get in there. And you can just sort of chill. It's got 2 recyclers. Yeah, that's odd. The spur market, or the supermarket, if you prefer. I was sort of consider this one and the gas station very similar. They're usually found in similar locations. Got a recycler. Got a bunch of boxes. Good for food, obviously. It's the supermarkets. This is military base. Yeah, this is another one I don't come to very often because it doesn't have a lot of loot. It does have a fair chunk of scientists compared to, say, airfields. It is the spot where you can launch MLRS, which I don't know if we'll get into, but it's basically something that allows you to pick a spot on a map, say this person's base. Look, they're already scared. And then launch a bunch of missiles at them from here. So that's kind of fun. And then there's, what's this called? Swamp cabin? Something cabin? That's another one don't go to. Abandoned cabins. Abandoned cabins. This is an odd one in that this is the one you can build in. Like, I'm pretty sure you can actually build in here, and none of these other ones you can build in or near. But this one I think you can. Not really much going on there. Get a green card. Often a lot of sulfur in the swamps, which this counts as a sort of swamp. And that is the very basics of monuments. I'm definitely forgetting things. I'm definitely not going into a huge amount of detail, but I'm giving you the gist. Speaking of the gist, electricities. Okay, let me start with the battery types. They're small, medium, large. I should probably get out so we can see. All right, so that holds 400, that holds 9,000, and that holds 2,400. Max output 100, 50, and 15. Ways to get electricity in to these are solar. That's one of your most common. Probably won't. This is a little more circumstantial that you would use a generator because it. Oh, I actually do have. Oh, that should turn this light on for a second. Yeah. Yeah. So what I did for this one, just for testing purposes. Oh, all the stuff's on the back. So power out to this small battery. And then the small battery goes out to this. Oh, did that charge that already? Oh no. How's this getting power? No, there you go. Yes, that stayed on longer than it should have. So yeah, if I turn this on, it's going to start sending power to the battery, and the battery is going to start sending power to that red lights. But then it'll eventually turn off. Anyways, and then probably the main way people use to get electricity into their stuff is this, a wind turbine. Just because that gives you significantly more. This obviously only works during the day. This doesn't give a lot, and also you have to feed it low-grade fuel. So that's normally the best option. The power that this outputs is actually determined by how high it is off the ground. Not how high it is off the ground. For example, if I build this one up on top of the tallest mountain, I'm not going to get as much power as if I build it 3 up, at sea level. Like right now, let's pump it out 91. So that's pretty good at this height. Normally you take fall damage. I would have gone into this with my friends that this, unlike most servers, has a skill tree. I'm not really going to go into that because this is not vanilla. None of this is vanilla, but I have this unlocked, meaning I don't take fall damage. So that's fun. All right, a turret. Yeah, I just wanted to include one to sort of show them the gist of its setup. How I can't really interact with it unless it's unplugged. And now I can, and then I can put in a weapon and ammo. I guess I gotta hook it back up now. I don't know where it was hooked up. Where, oh where? Sure, we'll say it was there. Then I've also included this. This is sort of a modded server. Could be a PvP, but more often PvE server. A test generator. What was that then? Which outputs a consistent 300 power. Normally I always sort of combine them into one, so it's like 300 into one. Then I've got a switch, so I can just turn everything on and off, should I wish. Turn it back on. There's two different switches, just a normal switch and a smart switch. Smart switch is only able to be interacted with if you have TC access. On that note, oh, ignore that. Oh, I thought my TC was in there. Never mind. That's just sort of where I log off in there. Oh yeah. Okay, so here's a TC, a tool cupboard. When you interact with the tool cupboard, as long as you have access, it will show you the cost of your base. So this base, quote unquote, is just these foundations and walls. It would also count doors, but it doesn't count things like solar panels, deployables, doesn't count like boxes, doesn't count turrets. Those are not part of your upkeep. Okay, upkeep needs to be, in here, and then it slowly trickles downwards. In order to gain access, you can authorize people yourself, you can unlock it, you can, in this case I have a key code. Sorry, I have a, not a key code, what's it called? You know what it's called. There's key locks and there's code locks. So key locks can only be used by the individual who placed them, whereas code locks, if you have the code, you can input it. So let's say I have a friend who can't get on today, but it's going to be on tomorrow. I could set this up, add a code, and then when they log in, they can do it. These can be added to your TC, they can be added to doors, they can be added to boxes, but not barrels, oddly. I don't really know what the decision with that was. Maybe it's just to offset. Let barrels take up less space. Maybe. Okay, so in terms of electrics as well, what I did was included a little bit of everything just so they could see. Heartbeat sensor registers heartbeat. So all these can be sort of hooked up in various ways to help build a computer. Where's my notes say? I think it just says please leave things in here. Door controller, yes, so I could set it up so I could push a button and a door opens. I could set it up so if someone I don't know shows up at my base, a door opens and then there's a turret behind them and the turret kills them, for example. We're getting into or Zor. Love a Zor. Switches. These are, sort of things that allow you to, as I say, build a computer if you want to. Splitter, timers, we got a bunch of different light types, Christmas lights, should you wish. Smart alarms, this and this, sort of getting into Rust Plus, which is an app available for your telephone, your cellular telephone. For example, I put this on a box, or I hook it up to this, and I'll get a notification on my phone when my base is being raided. For example, a thing you could do. I could put it on a box, and if that box is opened, I get a notification. Many options. They roll very deep with the electronics. I am not going to explain a lot, also because I don't roll that deep. Like, I can do some things, like industrial and planting. And, I've done some cool stuff in my time, but, you need individual tutorials for stuff. You can do things like this. Have a camera. Zoom in. Alright, so let's move on to industrial, since we're speaking electric. So this system looks complicated. Yeah, I guess it does look complicated. Especially if you don't know, but this is basically what it does is I'll be able to put ore in here. Actually, I'm gonna grab some. Surely there's a note or two. It's just allowing you to do something that can be done manually, but doing it automatically. Do I really not have no nodes? Am I nodeless? Well, you know what? Someone must have come on this island somewhat recently, or maybe yesterday. Because all these doors were open, which I didn't do that. Okay, so not a single node. What are the odds? Well, it doesn't really matter. I don't necessarily need to... You'll get the gist. I swear to God you will. So in this case, I would put ore in here. It would then, via this pipe, go into one of these electric furnaces, which electric furnace, you could just hook up an electric furnace, put here. You don't need all these pipes. It takes 3 power. It's pretty easy to do. And then just put the ore in yourself and take it out yourself. No big deal. It's actually very simple to do. Usually I do them in groups of 3s because then I can use these splitters, which have 1, 2, 3. Here's a little tip for a little more advanced tip. If you are only hooking 2 things up to one of these, use the outer 2. Otherwise, it sort of screws up and power goes to the one that's not being used as well. Anyways, so these are sort of set to determine what's going to go through them. So in this case, my unrefined ores go in here, go through here. They make their way through all these tubes. They come out and they end up in here. So you'll see this has got the refined version. I wouldn't normally do this next step. So sort of this from here to here would not exist for me. Normally I would just do this manually. But I wanted to give an example to, you know, my newbie friends of what could be done. So this takes what's in this box and splits it into 2 different boxes. So for example, the sulfur and the 2 metals. The 2 metals end up here and the sulfur ends up here. This if you want to further split. And if we look in here, clothing. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. So you can see components, electrical, medical. It also has categories. The categories to me aren't great. To be honest, like the reason I kind of don't do this part of it, the organization side of things, is that I like organizing. Like that's one of the areas of the game that I enjoy just relaxing and doing is organizing loot. So, you know, I kind of don't do it. All right, we're going to talk plants, and we're going to talk somewhat loosely of plants. They need water. Ways you can get water. One of these small guys. This is not vanilla. Normally it doesn't hold this amount. But not vanilla. So small, that. You can also pump from rivers. You can pump from lakes. You can pump from oases. Is there an oasis? Yes. You can pump from the ocean, but it's salt water. If you do that, you need to run it through a... Shoot, what's it called? Most people don't do it because it's an extra step. Powered water purifier. You know, maybe it's your only option is to use that, but you know, kind of a pain. All right, so let's just grab acid. And we will plant acid. So most of the time people will go from pumps in rivers and lakes. We'll pump into this, to one of these, and then into your sprinkler. I will say that... Oh, there's an airdrop coming. This is all done by gravity, meaning if I go up, as I am in this case, I need a powered pump. If I put this on my top floor, which maybe I'll show you an example after, because I have a farm. I have a farm here. Like an actual farm, not like this. You actually don't need powered pumps because, you know, water runs downhill. Here you do need powered pumps, so this has power going into it, which then pumps water, and allows me to plant. Well, I can plant anyways, but, oh yeah. So, right now you see the water is at 19 of 9,000. That's why it's saying my water is 1%, which is not great. Neither is this. Oh, you know what? I actually have God clones. Show you the difference. Always fun. Okay, so see the difference in genetics here? This is going to grow faster. It's going to grow more. It's going to grow in colder conditions. It's just overall better compared to this. Now, the ways that you go from this to this are incredibly complicated, and I don't even do them. I bought this from someone who was selling them. So you can go deep into the genetics of plants on this, and people enjoy that. That's not something I necessarily... Normally what I do is where's my plants? Normally I would put that down. Oh, that one's not bad. And then put that down, and then get rid of one. And then put another one down. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I'm doing okay. And then destroy the one that's not better. And then just keep doing that until I'm out of... Wow, how am I getting so good? What the hell? Wait, do I have a thing on that's making these better? Okay, well, yeah, that one's... Because these are all pretty good. Like, normally I get ones like that. Weird. And then that's the step I do to get good genes. And then I sort of give up on that. Whereas there's, you know, crossbreeding and you can really roll deep into it. But I normally don't. You also need, as you see, it's made up of light, which is coming from this. Water, which is of course coming from this. Ground will be 67 unless you put fertilizer in. We will get to fertilizer later down the road. Temperature, we're in the snow here, so you definitely need this, but even if you're not, if you're in the desert, and you don't have that at nighttime, your plants won't grow. And it's always overall. So as that water goes up, eventually that water will hit, you know, 100%. But these plants will remain at 67 because I don't have fertilizer in them. Alright, so there's some plant basics. Not too deep. Okay, so this is advice I asked from the server. And then YouTubers who you may enjoy. I just added some that I enjoy, but should anyone wish to submit more, first weekend of the month should be for Rust and Friends, not work. Agreed. Agreed. I mean, a lot of things should be before work, to be honest. Alright, so here we're talking comfort and cooking. Oh, and I guess I did this as well. Oh, this one off. So, you'll see a comfort meter currently at, I think it's going to go, oh, no, it's going to go to 100. All right. Also would go to 100 if I'm sitting here. So were I hurt, my comfort level being 100 would slowly raise my my health. So it is a way to heal. It's, you know, probably a way to heal used more often for early in wipe. Like now I have, you know, I got meds, so I kind of don't got to worry about heals as much as I would. What the hell? Someone push me. Is there an admin pushing me around here? Things that give comfort are, you know, fires, chairs, rugs, So this is a very comfortable area that I've built here. Cooking. Actually, why don't we, because I added this here. Lockers. So were I to hit swap, it would swap out what I'm wearing for all of this. Oh, you know what? I did want to throw out the offer that the first 3 people who come up to me and say, hey, can I have a kit? Can I have a kit? So, you know, if you're watching this and either A, you're on the server and want a kit, feel free to ask and it's yours. Or if you're watching this and want to try out this server and find me online, I'm usually online in the AMs EST. When I am, you know, feel free to stop by for a kit. Get you started. I'll throw you some mats as well, because obviously I'm doing okay in that regard. This is technically, despite this, vanilla. It's just once you get, you know, once you get skill tree stuff, it ups your. So this is all this is not in vanilla normally. Obviously. It just allows you to build up resources, combined with the fact that this server has these backpacks that stay between wipes, which is, I'd say, not usual, but I've, needless to say, I've built up some good resources. I'll throw you a tea too, a wood and a ore tea. And some food. So something they somewhat recently added is food spoils, which that's another one. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, realism, I guess, great. So you need a fridge, and your fridge needs to be powered. Before your food didn't spoil, I would still use a fridge anyways, just because, you know, kind of nice. All right, so cooking. They've somewhat recently added pies, which are really what I ever use, and I've made some of is bear pie. And I'm not going to go into in depth what all the pies do. I will explain a little bit about the ore teas. Yeah, the main teas I would say are ore tea, wood tea. Most people will poo-poo a scrap tea, but you know, since I like running the road, it's actually pretty good. And max health tea. I also wouldn't sleep on crafting tea, because as you see, like I've made basically what I'm wearing, with the exception of, I mean, I have one somewhere. Like I've made the best armor in the game here, basically. Including helmets. I normally don't wear a helmet though. I normally just wear this. It's good for the cold too. Yeah, like see the difference in cold? Plus I look cool. So you need berries to make these teas, and then you can upgrade the teas if you have more teas. You could also make ammo at these, and gunpowder, and low grade. Many things you can do at a cooking workbench. You can also cook. They also have a mixing table, which makes everything but the cooking items. So there's not really a reason to have both. Like you don't really need a mixing table and a cooking. I guess it's cheaper to make, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Cooking in a barbecue better than cooking in a campfire. You can only cook one thing at a time, can cook 3 at a time, and can cook faster. Yeah, I got a lot of eggs and such. Okay. Here's a brief, just a show of the existence of wall, floor, and ceiling skins. Yeah, a couple of examples of each, just so they could sort of, you know, see that they exist. And when I say they, I mean, you know, my friends who are newbies, who I gave them all spawn points in here. It'd be funny if one of them popped in right now. So, you know, when they do spawn in, they'll be in. This is not even locked. It's just whatever. One of them's in a band. and I wanted to show music, so I got his band's logo and put it there. Yeah, let's turn this off. Just to show off the various, you know, music-y stuff you could do. You could, for example, push this button. What? That's not a button. Oh, I don't think I can push the button. Alright, well, assuming I could push that button, I think I'd have to move the sign or the button. Would set off these fireworks, so that's something. I wanted to talk a little bit about bed, bag, and bear, aka animals. So these create respawn points for you. Sleeping bag being the most common. They eventually added these towels, which do the exact same thing. They're just, you know, lower. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get to you guys. Does the exact same thing. You know, no difference there. Bed, the difference being got to be placed on a foundation and gives you much quicker respawn time. So, you know, you don't want one of these in your base, basically. All right, animals. Okay, let me start off by saying something really weird with the hitboxes of gators and lions. Like I can't place anything around this. It won't let me. Also, they appear to have moved forward. Like I put them both here. They move forward. Anyways, normally you can't place animals down. All right, chicken. Gives eggs if you follow them around long enough. You can kill them for meat. Their meat doesn't give a lot of calories. Like I basically only, when I'm eating meat, eat bear meat, maybe boar meat for the most part. The other ones, the calories is just sort of not great. Believe it or not, they can attack. It's very rare, but they can. And they don't do a lot of damage. Ditto a deer. Usually found in threes. They can also attack, but also pretty rare that that happens. These will attack every time, as long as you get within a distance. Ditto these. Wolves, found in packs of, you know, 1 to 4, unless you get real unlucky and 2 packs merged together. They are very aggressive. I'm sorry, I'm just telling people. If you have a torch, which I don't currently have one, I don't think. Because I have my helmet now. Yeah, so if you're holding a torch and bring it out and sort of swing it around, that'll keep them at bay. If you talk in game, that'll, you know, keep them at bay for a bit. But, yeah, of the animals here, definitely wolves have killed me more than anything else. Bears, they're, you know, they're found in ones, so that helps. Their hits do a lot more damage. Polar bears are a little, yeah, see the hit points? 325 or 20 dudes. They do give a lot of resources, so that's something. Harder to take down, but I'm more scared of wolves than I am of bears, definitely. Although these guys, these are new with the jungle biome update, and you did see the leopard over there. Yeah, when you're swimming and one of these hits you, they can pull you under. They can actually pull your body away, both of these. So if you die and want to go back and get your loot, might not be there. So that's, you know, horrifying. I guess that's it about those. I don't know if anyone's really figured out a way to prevent these from attacking. If you do look at them and sort of back away, that's, you know, a trick. I don't think these guys have a trick either. Oh yeah, trick for these ones. If you are running around with a foundation and throw down a foundation, I have wood on me, yeah, and then hop on it, then the bears will run away. Wolves used to do that, but they got rid of that for some reason. Good noob tricks there, because you know, you're day one on a server, a lot of your deaths are going to be animal related. Especially in a like this, a PvE server. Okay, so this is the basic 2x1. This is the base that everyone, you know, initially builds. Basically. There's going to be variants. Mine, for example, I went with repair bench and boxes, but most people will do furnaces instead. Yeah. So basically the idea is try to fit as many boxes as you possibly can. So, you know, put a fair amount of boxes in here. But this is sort of your very basic, you know, initial base. It'll quite often look something like this. That being said, I almost never build this. I find it boring. And like the Giga Chad bases, you know, I kind of don't. This is pretty important though. Like even though I don't really build the classic 2x2 or the Giga Chad bases, this I do sort of pay attention to. So, for example, say that door is open, I still can't get by. Sort of an airlock. See what I mean? You can, if I could, I don't think I can. Oh yeah, I can. So, you know, get some shooting through the door. An airlock. That is important. You know, I don't do a lot of PvP. I do it from time to time. Okay, let's talk vehicles. So, grab myself a tug. Tug is like a base on wheels. Wheels. Base on... Not wheels. The opposite of wheels. Base that you can, you know, go around the map in the waters. It actually took me a while because I had to buy it from here. So I had to go all the way around the map to bring it here. It has a fuel storage. It has a TC, just like the ones I showed earlier. Fuel storage. And then down below is where you could put boxes. You could put a bag. I think I did put a bag. Yeah, I put a bag in here. You can fill this with boxes and deployables. Some things you can't deploy on a tub. You can't put like turrets, for example, or electrical in general. They are adding, maybe even next month, which on that note is July. So August 2025, they are adding soonish. Oh, here's some. The ability, well, I don't really know how it's going to work. The ability to make water, make boats, make ships, shipbuilding, ship crafting, something like that. I'm very interested how that's going to work. Probably janky as hell at first, you got to assume. Alright, just to show you some mining there. Alright, vehicles, yeah. Tugboat. I thought I just heard someone building. The boat types are tugboat being the biggest and the one you can live on. Then there's rib, HRIB, which, oh, it's the horses I'm hearing, which is, you know, pretty large. You could fit like quite a few people in it. Then there's the standard boat. Be surprised if there's one around here, no? Then there's a paddle boat for bikes and motor bikes. There's two different variants. There's single and dual. The dual one, I didn't bring one because I had to bring it all the way from over there. Has a little seating area there. There's the aforementioned snowmobile. And then, you know, the cream of the crop, the car. Most people do this configuration, or at least I always have, which is dual engines. Let's go to an engine here and an engine here, which makes it quite a bit faster having both engines. And then the camper in the back. Camper in the back, great. You got storage, you've got kits up above. I haven't filled any of this out. And you got 4 beds. Oh, and hell, you can even, you know, cook in your little barbecue there. So very handy. Spawn points, loot. Can be blown up, of course, on a PvP server, so you gotta be cognizant of that. I want to just take a little Okay, I don't think it has fuel in it. It did not. Let's see. Get some speed up with the 2 engines. If this is not on a lift like this, it will slowly decay. So, you know, that's why most people build garages with these lifts in them. Decided to include in my list of vehicles an elevator. Sure. Just so, again, you could see of the existence of things. Little button. Buttons in this game don't actually need to be powered to do things that, for example, call elevators, set off fireworks, things that take, you know, 1 second. All right, here we've got Husbandry. Huh? We got horses. We got... Oh, they're out of water? Okay, we gotta give them some water. Where's that food they're out of? Oh no, they're out of... I'm pretty sure I got water here. Yeah, I wasn't on yesterday. Or much the day before, so... I don't want my poor chickens to die. I wish you could put in more than that. Alright, you can pet your chickens. And you should do so, because the more you pet them... Oh, these are about to go bad. Okay. The more you pet your chickens, the happier they are. And none of these chickens are particularly happy right now, because I haven't been on. So they ran out of water, and no one's petting them. So basically you put an egg there, and it'll hatch, and then do that 4 times, and you'll get 4 chickens. This is how it works. And then they start giving you a crap ton of eggs, which these are about to go bad in 3 minutes, so we'll see. Well, you know, I can put them in here. Yeah, okay. Start getting some compost. Compost, were I to put it in my thing, as mentioned, it would improve the quality of my produce. Or these guys do. They got enough. Been feeding them pickles. Why don't I show you a little bit? Yeah. Health, speed, stamina. You can put things on them like saddle, bags, armor. Most common thing you'd put on it is horseshoes. Gives them extra 9 kilometers of speed, for example. This is a hopper, which anything dropped in front of a hopper gets sucked into the hopper. I did that because these horses would poop here, and then if I wasn't here to pick it up, which, you know, quite often wouldn't be, the hopper would suck it up and it'd end up in this box. I was hoping I could have it end up right in the composter, but they don't have the ability to put one of the storage adapters on the composter, fortunately. It's cold here, so both the chickens and my bees need heat. As you pick these, you're going to take a little damage, but you get a lot, needless to say. The honey can be extracted, which will give you either jar honey or a nucleus. Nucleus, which allows you to either build, or not build, you can build these just anytime, but you need to add a nucleus in order for bees to appear and start making honeycomb. You can also build bee grenades with the nucleus. Alright, so I think this is the last part, which this is looting subjective desirability. I really want to underline that word subjective there. Okay? Because it's going to be dependent on so many variables that it's just impossible for me to take everything into consideration. However, I think I've done okay. I've asked opinions of some people. I want your opinions below. Oh, on that note, I never, in my videos, because I'm not good at the whole YouTube thing, and I do this for fun, really ask for comments or things like that below. However, I want your comments below on this video, because things I'm saying might be right now and wrong later, and feel free to comment on that. They might just be wrong now. This in particular, I wouldn't mind input on what you think of items that you should 0, you see them, you never pick them up, versus 5, you see them, you always pick them up. And again, very subjective. Gonna be times where you need something that's, you know, a 1 desperately, and you sacrifice it for a 5. Okay, so we'll just go through them briefly. Oh yeah, recycling. So this has come up a bunch of times. These from here, this. These are the main components. When recycled, they turn into scrap. These ones, these 3, turn into cloth. Any item you put in here, why don't I just build something? Build something out of wood. So say I got a wood door. Throw it on the recycler. Gives me wood. So as you find things, you're going to, you know, recycle them for resources. You're probably not going to build something and immediately recycle it like I did, because obviously you're going to lose some, but you know, very important, this piece of equipment. Normally only found in monuments. The server gives you the ability to place them in your base. So that's pretty cool. All right, should we start at 0? Start at 5. Start at 0. Work our way up. Okay, so these are things that I would never pick up. Probably the most subjective ones are these. You know, there's times where you might want these. And I will say, of these, recycling them, you do get some good stuff. But for the most part, I'm kind of like, meh, I don't use those. All right. This might anger some people. However, again, subjective, and I'm a weirdo in that I prefer a bow, even though I've included a bow here as well, to a crossbow. Like, I feel like I'm not good with a crossbow. For whatever reason. Just not good. You know, your crappier guns, your one-shot guns. Bean can grenade, you know, if you get a bunch of them and recycle them, that could be good. So again, very subjective. This can give you a propane tank, which when recycled... Oh, wait, that should... Why is that 1? I'd probably move that one up. Yeah, I'll move that up. Yeah, this also, because it could be, you know, helpful in your base, but you get a gear from it. Some of the slightly better guns, composites, bone knife. Probably not going to pick up a bone knife, but, you know, whatever. Bed, get a lot of cloth from a bed if you're not going to use it. Guns. Get a tarp from that. We're at 3. Alright, so getting a little better. Tommy, yeah. You know, other than having like an AK or a better gun, you know, these I enjoy. Subjective. What is this? I put this here? Teas in general. Yeah. I'd say teas in general you're usually going to want to take. This and this. You get some good components in tech trash. Ditto that, or you know, or you're gonna use them. Same with these. Get a lot of components from these. Also, hazmat suits. These, you know, if you have a gun that doesn't have them and you're looting, throw them on your gun. I feel like a lot of the times. And then your 5s, bags. You know, you can only find them in boxes, so quite often, you know what? I just sort of included all components here. That being said, you know, there's going to be time where you don't need rope anymore, or any of this. I mean, depending on the server you're playing on, you probably always need pipes. Your good guns, your really good guns. Inserts, ammo. What does this say? Rockets. Oh, yeah, you can't make rockets on this server. So, a note saying rockets. All right, folks, I think that's it. Why don't I show you two things and we'll end it with that. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. So let's go show you like a up and running farm. Oh, right. Okay, so show you how to clone. Will give me clones of everything. Harvest all will, you guessed it. Harvest all. Now I'm gonna get a lot. This is actually good because I'm gonna get a lot. What am I hearing? This weird thing, and I mentioned it a lot in my, you know, non-tutorial-y videos. Oh, I got a level too. Where, because I normally play with the sound coming from speaker rather than earbuds, as I'm currently doing, you hear so much more with earbuds. There you go, there's a pro tip. Oh, yeah, just on the note of tips like that, because I didn't get many, feel free to come and add your own or add them to the comments below. That'd be great. One is that I want to personally add is, particularly on a server like this, any modded server, two things. If you're going to be playing the entire, you know, month-long wipe on a modded server, you should join the Discord and read all the rules and commands, and your time is going to go much smoother if you do that. Now, you know, if you're just experimenting or you don't think you're going to be playing on the server very often, that's fine. But, you know, a whole month-long server, I would recommend. On the note of that, servers typically fall into three categories. Can be exceptions, but month-long, which is what I gravitate towards, where that's sort of the maximum that Face Punch allows. Your progress over the month is, well, month-long, and at the end of the month, everything you've done and built is gone. A little asterisk on this server, and that everything in my bag will be there for next wipe, which is sort of a rare find, but one I enjoy. Then there's bi-weekly, and then weekly. A little more, I don't know, would you say fast-paced, perhaps? Should I plant something else? Yeah. Alright, and then let me show you one final thing. Just so we end with you seeing some of the possibilities of things you can build. Like a, you know, beating heart in a cave. Oh, I think the sound is... something about the sound on this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Is that working? Yeah. Oh. So I should be able to put this tape in that I recorded of heartbeat. There you go. Yeah, a little finicky that sometimes. But if you want to build a beating heart in a cave, you can do so. Nothing to stop you from eventually, after you're getting some hours in the game of doing stupid stuff like this. Folks, that was way longer than I thought it was going to be a tutorial. But, you know, no script. So what are you going to do? Please have some comments below of things you would recommend. You know how I sort of want to phrase it? Things I wish I knew. You know? I feel like that's a good way to come at advice for new Rust players. Things I wish I knew before I started playing. Things I wish I knew after playing for 1,000 hours or whatever. That would be kind of you. Nice of you, even. On that note, I should end by saying, as I always end by saying, my various things. Yeah. It's nice to be nice to the night.